Good morning and welcome to Mind the Moment's Tuesday morning session, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we can gather as a community and practice meditation, check in a little bit, and learn from each other, from our experiences in daily life, from our mindfulness practice, and it's also a place where we can share resources. So my name is Starr Greene. I'm really happy to be with you today. And I just wanted to sort of unpack, as we have the better part of 30 minutes together, just sort of unpack what we'll be doing. And so we'll start with a little centering in a moment. And then I'm going to offer up a question, actually from an experience that I had not too long ago. So it prompted a question for me. And I'm sharing it with you so you can kind of check in about it, reflect about it. And then we're going to go into a practice session of meditation, anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. And there might be time at the end for some questions. And then it will be time to move on to that next part of your day. So before we get started, though, just make sure you go down to the bottom of your screen where there's the chat box. And if you click on it, just make sure you select to everyone so that anything that you share in this session will be able to be seen by everybody that's here. Okay. So let's just begin by arriving. Really just we'll take about a minute or so for this. So you could be sitting, standing, whatever feels most supportive for you now. Eyes could be opened or close them, or somewhere in the middle with just a soft gaze. And bringing to your attention all that is coming your way through the senses of sound, through the sensations of your body and the support that is holding you, whether it's the chair, the floor, sensing the weight of the body, scanning in a very brief way for areas of tension, tightness, places that feel open and relaxed. Acknowledging what you have brought with you right now within the physical body, within all that you can experience inside, thoughts, emotions. So creating space for all of that here in our session. You might take a deeper breath in. Exhale it out. Nice and long exhale. And you might do that again. A nice deep breath in. And exhale it out. Your eyes have been closed. You can open them up, sort of reconnect with this space and this screen. And so, as promised, I do have a question for you. It's actually two questions. And you can consider both parts, or maybe one part will speak to you more than the other. And it is this: what gets in the way of you being present? First part, I'll put this in the chat box as well. So what gets in the way of you being present, attentive, focused on what's happening here and now? And the second part is, in times like this, times of distraction, what helps you reset, reclaim? Yeah. So feel free to kind of move that on through. I just put it in the chat box. Feel free. I see responses coming in. Yeah, worry, rumination, my to-do list, all these things that just take us away, right? It's part of daily life. Yeah, and the to-do list. So my recent experience, which it's a little humbling to share, but it's one really of distraction, but also reclaiming. And so as you're continuing to reflect and share your responses, I'll just share. I have a favorite little hike I like to do around here. I can do it in the lunch hour. And it just allows me to get outside and nature, which is my own kind of reset, getting outside. And there's a favorite little place along the loop that has a stream. And it's just always been my favorite part. And with so much rain that we've had, it's really rushing. It's really rushing through. There's great sound. There's a little tiny waterfall. And I just love this part. And I will often slow down or stop. And so not too long ago, I was taking this hike and I realized that I'd missed the stream, that wherever I was in my mind, I had completely walked past this little tiny waterfall, like missed it. So that's my confession, is that a place that finds, a reset, that I was too busy, so busy ruminating. And I can see, having responses like this. Yes, we rush, so we're busy. We replay events, so a lot of thinking. And so that is it. Yes, yes. And so I see people coming in with things like, self-doubt. And also some wonderful responses on this second part on resetting, right? And so for me, this reset was, and actually the wake up moment was like, I missed it. I wasn't there for it. So kind of prompted a wake up, and not too much further along the trail, there was a place to just stop, rest, get in the sun. And for me, it was really dropping into my senses, right? Feeling the warmth of the rock under me, right? Hearing the birds, all these things that can be so simple and done, right? Yes. Going to the library, reading poetry, right? So finding uplift in a way that will work for you. Yeah. Yes. And sometimes giving into tears helps. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we take the time to pause, the reset can also include really knowing our inner landscape, sensing that inner landscape of really the thoughts, for me, the rumination, or, the worry, sensing someone that we care about in pain. And so really just tuning into that with much compassion for ourselves as well as others. And this can be the power of pause, right? To bring our attention back into what's happening, to not miss the beautiful things that are around us, and also to get more clarity about what we're experiencing in the moment. We're making room for that. Yeah. So some really, really lovely things coming in. I think we can all, yes, remembering to be in the moment, right? And a lot of mental pull that I see here, future thinking, worry. Yes. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you to Janice. Laughter. So reset, laughter, and being lighthearted with myself when I get lost. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that can also be a really wonderful reset, to not take these moments too seriously if that feels right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your sharing. And we're going to move into a meditation practice now, 12 to maybe 15 minutes. Again, you can do this standing up. You can sit down. You can even lie down, whatever feels most supportive for you. So getting yourself into that position, choosing whether eyes opened or eyes closed. And you might start with just a few deeper breaths, feeling the fullness of the in-breath and the release that's possible through the out-breath. This, as a breath practice, can be the reminder, the exhale, the letting go, the release, the reset. You continue to settle in. You'll be hearing parts where my voice is prominent. If that feels distracting to you in the moment, you can just feel free, let it be your background. There will also be times where my voice will quiet. There will be periods of silence. So as we are settled here and perhaps finding a gentle anchor for our attention within the body or within the breath, perhaps you want to rest your attention on a certain part of the body, sensing the connection of the hands or the feeling of the feet touching the ground. So within this invitation to anchor, to kind of steady attention within the body, the breath, you can also remain open to that landscape of what's happening around us through sound, perhaps you feel the movement of the air. Our practice can be one of acknowledging the inner landscape of the sensations, of emotions and thoughts, thinking. Familiar patterns of thought come up for you. There's rumination. There is worry. We can name it. Gently return to our anchor. As we continue to practice, you can just notice what feels most supportive at this time. We can really kind of steady attention over and over and over again in times of distraction through the anchor. It is most often suggested within the body and the breath. You might also just be aware of sound as it is happening and just rest attention there on that outer landscape. To practice and bring in that sense of curiosity of all that's happening around you, within you in this moment. Acknowledging and making room for that feels maybe a little tricky, the things that can distract us, thought patterns or an emotion that may be underneath it. You can be patient and kind with that as we tune in over and over again to a steadiness through the body and the breath. Final few minutes of our practice together. I invite you to just continue to be open to what is happening, of course, through body, breath, through sound. And also noticing all these places where attention can go. Our mental, our cognitive, our thought patterns, our to-do list that can run through. A sense of recalling what has just happened or moving towards something that may be ahead. It's a beautiful capacity of mind travel. And of course, that will be there. But the invitation is, as you notice this with great care and maybe some lightheartedness too, very humbly and gently returning to this moment, the inner and outer landscape of now. What is happening now? And reclaiming, resetting and reclaiming over and over. final minute as we prepare to end this meditation, we're going to shift a little bit and move more towards what we call a kindness meditation for ourselves and for all beings, really. So we can do this through some words or just the sense of, may I, we can say that for ourselves, may I be happy. May my body be healthy and strong. May my mind be open. May the innate awareness within tap into that through these moments of remembering, of reclaiming, of tending to what's happening here and now. All beings be safe, protected, have what they need. Healthy and free. And may all beings live with ease. So we might just do a little bit of movement or deepen the breath a little bit, knowing that we are going to now transition from that place of formal practice of meditation. And if eyes were closed, you can open them up and come into this space. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for your kind attention, for your reflecting and your wonderful sharing, and for the practice, for showing up. There are a few more minutes left. If there are any questions or even resources that you want to share, then please feel free to put them in the chat box. As part of that, I always am curious too, if you had a particular experience, insight, or any kind of experience during that time, or any other future, or any, rather not future, but any reflections, just feel free to bring those in now. Yeah. So as we're kind of signing off and moving on into the day, perhaps you bring with you that knowing now, that distraction, stress, worry, these things do come up. Of course, we know this over and over again. And we can come back over and over again and celebrate that process of reclaiming, and in that perhaps feeling a little bit more grounded, clear, and able to move through the day. Okay, thank you. Wishing you a really good day and time ahead. Take care.